This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with part 2 of our discussion about the police officers who responded to a 911 call on April 5th in Brooklyn and shot dead an unarmed, mentally troubled African-American man on a street corner in Brooklyn. At the time of his death, Saheed Vassell was holding a metal pipe that police say they mistook for a gun. The NYPD says 4 officers, 3 in plain clothes, 1 uniform, fired 10 rounds at Saheed Vassell, a Jamaican immigrant. Resident Keenan Davis witnessed the shooting by officers who arrived in an unmarked car. He described what he saw to the New York Daily News.
He walked across the street with the thing in his hand. The cop's car was coming up the street. They take a U-turn. They came out the car. They didn't say freeze. They didn't say drop a weapon. In 2 seconds, all 4 cops started shooting.
Was there like any exchange of words?
No words. No words exchanged. Nothing.
What went through your mind when you were seeing this?
When I saw they come up and I saw they make the U-turn, I said to my friend, oh, damn, the cops. I started to hold up my hand, trying to get their attention to let them know that, it's nothing serious. In 2 seconds, they started shooting.
In 2 seconds, they started shooting, he said. The New York State Attorney General's office is now investigating the fatal shooting. A recent study found the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn, where Saheed Vassell was killed, is one of 20 most gentrified areas of the country. When over 1,000 protesters gathered at the scene of his death, many longtime residents expressed concerns that 911 calls from new residents in the area have contributed to the criminalization of longtime low-income residents of color, especially black men. At first, the New York Police Department released edited surveillance video of Vassell's actions prior to his death. Then, after pressure, they released video showing the police officers shooting Vassell. None of the officers who opened fire were wearing body cameras. The Vassell family is now calling for the release of all unedited video from the area leading up to and during the shooting. We continue with our conversation with Saheed's parents, Lorna and Eric Vassell. Lorna, talk about what you are looking for right now.
I want all video to release to the public with Saheed. The NYPD, they murdered Saheed and they put out video of Saheed action. We want to see the action of the police that murdered my son.
Now, explain what you understand took place. Of course, you weren't there.
I were not there.
But what you understand at that moment, I mean, you have this bystander saying he wanted to tell the police, wave to them, don't do something.
Don't shoot.
But within seconds.
He said within seconds, they have already gunned him down.
And what did you understand he had in his hand?
A shower head. That's what I heard, that he have a shower head into his hand. And it was broad daylight.
Eric Vassell, your son was a solderer. He did it as a trade. He worked with pipes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he works at
He's a welder.
Ah.
He works as a welder. But my point is that the police say he had something in his hand, and the eyewitness say he did not have nothing in his hand. So that's where I lies. I want to see, because their witnesses say he did not have anything in his hand. But I want the names of the 4 officers. We want to hear about their background, and we want justice for our son. That's all we are looking. Release all the video.
Yes.
Show us a video with my son with the pipe in his hand.
Now, there is clearly a lot of video out there because this is a commercial area. What time was it when your son was killed?
4:45.
It's light outside.
It's light
Broad
outside.
daylight.
So there is a lot of video.
There's a lot of video.
Now, the mayor said, well, it's based on what the state attorney general wants, but Eric Schneiderman's office said they're not getting in the way of video being released.
Yes, but they released video of my son. So as long as they can release video of my son, then therefore they should reveal the video of the police
officers
and the only thing
their action.
the other thing, they don't show no video of my son pointing the pipe at the police. They show us video of him pointing it at somebody else. So show me the video when they point it at the police and the police kill him in action.
You're talking about the shower head.
Yes, the
and
shower head.
how that image of him with a shower head relates to the timing
of
the police
killing.
coming.
That's what we are looking for. That's exactly what we are looking for. The timing that, okay, you spoke to a man and say, stop it, and he turns around. That's what I want to see. He turns around, he faces them, and they fire because they claim that they were afraid for their lives. Show us that video because there's a lot of cameras around. So show us all the video, where the police was coming from, how they make the turn, let us hear some sound when you call to the young man, drop your weapon,
also,
and he turn around.
If he had a shower head or not, how far were the police from him?
We don't know how far the police were from him. We don't know how far the police. But all I know that if there are cameras, the camera is supposed to pick up every single action, not part and part. Show us a full video.
So you're saying what they have released is just to incriminate your son?
Just to incriminate my son.
And so you're saying you want to see everything, whatever it shows.
We want to see everything.
Us the movie.
Show us.
Have any store owners come up to you and said they have video?
They said the police have already
collected the video.
Collected all the video.
All the closed circuit cameras.
All their cameras. The police have already collect all the cameras. Every single one. So that they have to be the police kill Saheed and what Saheed was showing to them.
Have you heard the 911 calls?
We don't hear no 911 calls.
I mean, clearly a number of people called.
No,
I don't.
No, so we are demanding that we hear the 911 call. We are demanding that the names of the police officers should be released. We are demanding that all videos should be released.
They've only released one still of your son without anyone there, just your son.
Just my son.
So we want
all video. I am not interested in pictures. I am interested in videos because the video can show the actual action of my son interacting with
What did it
police.
mean to you that 1,000 people turned out in the protest of Saheed's killing?
I feel so good. We get the support from the neighborhood. I did not know so many people love Saheed. I was, one morning, the day after Saheed died, I heard a knock on my door. I went out. There was a lady about 84 years old. She came walking with a walker. She said, I came to give my condolence to Saheed's parents. Are you Saheed, Mom? I said, yes. The lady said, I never met this lady before. She said, Saheed was such a wonderful person. Saheed could go get my grocery for me. Anything I want Saheed to do, Saheed would never take a cent from my money. He would bring back every change to me. Yesterday, another lady, about over 80 years old, went to church, asked someone where we live. The lady came back yesterday. She said, I can't believe they killed that young man. That young man is such a good young person. He's one of the best persons I have ever seen. And they going around try to put Saheed down as if Saheed was such a bad person in the neighborhood. Saheed was loved by everyone in Crown Heights. Saheed was one of the funniest person you could ever come across. If you see Saheed, he would say, I love you. A lady came to me, she said, Saheed always see me and said, Empress. That's how the way he react to everyone in the neighborhood.
When is the funeral for your son?
Funeral, the viewing will be on Thursday the 19th. The reflection, the burial would be on Friday. But let me say this. He was a wonderful, wonderful young man. And I, as a father, won't say that my son was this and that. The community will speak for itself. I don't have to give a story about him, exactly who he was, because the story that I heard, I did not know my son as much as how the community know him. And for them to take his life, the community is mourning for the loss of Saheed Vassell. And me, my wife, the community is asking for justice. And I'm asking the mayor and the Attorney General office that we are looking justice, and they also must stand with us and look justice for Saheed Vassell.
I want to thank you both for being with us, coming to Democracy Now! Today. Lorna and Eric Vassell, the parents of Saheed Vassell, who was killed by New York police on April 5th. To hear part one of our conversation, you can go to democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks so much for joining us.